All right, hello and welcome to day 93. I had a whole epiphany. I don't know at what point I realized this, but I was just thinking about the fact that I really need to update my everything, my website, Instagram, GitHub, LinkedIn. Um, those four, at least for now, because I was really thinking about it. I was actually responding to some emails and confirming some events that I will be able to speak at this month. So then I was like, oh, and then we've been talking about the programs. There's some different projects and programs that I want to kick off soon. And I'm really better at doing the thing than promoting the thing. um, but I think, I understand that promoting the thing is important. Um, So I'm gonna work on my website and my three main social profiles today. Oh, YouTube. So five, I think. Um, I'll share my screen for most of what I'm working on because I think it won't be like anything too crazy. Let's see. All right. So I said I'm going to the website first. So I'll go to my blog. Then I want to do probably. I'm gonna go to Instagram after that because I use Instagram the most. Then I'm gonna go to YouTube probably. I have to do all of these, but I'm just thinking like what order would I prefer. And then I said I said the blog, Instagram, LinkedIn. It might be one more that I'm missing. Oh, GitHub. Um, yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna do like more than 25 minutes on these. So that works. Yeah. What is this? Okay. Let's decide today at 5, I want to say. Let's see. Yeah, at 5 is the Replit Developer Day. So I'm gonna watch that. And that'll probably be the end of the day for me. Um at least for stream. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. wish they had different options you could swap between instead of having to redo these every time. All right, I think this will work. Start session automatically. Start breaks automatically. Okay, good. So I won't lose track of this. Okay, here. Okay. Um, let's go. So I'm gonna sign into my website actually. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I can sign in over here. Might already be signed in. All right, so last post was in February, which is not as bad as it could be, but I haven't been posting as consistently as I would like to. I now have this page for coaching, but I put this up a while back and I didn't really completely get everything set up the way I wanted to. Oh yeah, and it's time for me to do my slots for the next quarter, because March is officially over. So this is perfect timing for this. I need to get other episodes in here because right now these are out of date and these are only probably a month or two of 2 shows. So those posts are easy to do, and then they'll show up on this page once they have the right tag. So probably catch up on some stuff there. Let me see. I guess my about page has some decent stuff here, but I haven't updated this in a long time. Excuse me. I think I haven't updated this since like fall. Let's see. Yeah, this is probably from like the fall when I first put this page up. It's not bad. It's good because it's pretty generic, but I think I would like to start fleshing this page out a little bit more, or maybe have a resume page. That's basically something I've been thinking about, because that would be really beneficial. I think I want to have I might flesh it out here a little bit more, at least like something about my experience. I want something about my regular typical like work experience. Then I do want to put up a page for like my MVP work. So yeah, I just started with like coaching and one-on-ones because this is like one of the main things I get asked about a lot. So I put that one up, but I do need to do some work on it. But really, like, these sessions I plan on having this be just a part of the site. So I might modify it. Basically, like I'm gonna start launching some membership tiers because I was already working on it in the past. I just wasn't ready to do it, but now that I have a lot more figured out. I have some ideas around what I want to do there. But I definitely need like my resume, like more of my technical teaching resume, and then I need like something specific to MVP work. Those are the things I think that are missing. All right. And then I was listening to this podcast, so I am going to probably go on mute and finish listening to that. I have like 20 minutes left of this episode. My GoodNotes was acting really weird when I was trying to have it opened earlier when I had my iPad hooked up to the monitor. All right, so yeah, I got another day here. Robotech, welcome in. How's your day going so far? Okay. So the other thing I thought about for the website is I need a program calendar and I need live stream embed. I haven't done that yet. That needs to go in the live stream needs to go in the theme. So that's that's on the bottom of the list. Maybe I just kind of get some ideas about it and then decide if I'm gonna finish that today. But that is something I really want, because like my website is supposed to make my life easy, and like everything is here. Right now I don't even I don't highlight my stream at all. And that's because I was planning on it being like right here on the featured section, or where the featured section is right now. But I think that's kind of where I left off the last time I was working on my theme, which was back in the fall. So I'm trying to do better about this, because in the past I always let my stuff get out of date. Realistically, because I could get away with it, I guess. Like I still get opportunities, or I get recommended for different things, or I just kind of have established relationships where people kind of know what kind of work I do. So like, for example, this week I got an email to speak or to moderate a corporate panel at a conference. That's next week, and it's a really good opportunity. I did accept it, but some folks that I work with recommended me. So I get like sometimes I get speaking opportunities that are just basically like someone found my profile, or they heard about me, or I got recommended. So that's, it's good. But because of that, a lot of times I fall off with keeping my site and everything updated, just because I think it would be better. Oh, actually, I need a section. I think it would be better if, of course, I did a good job of highlighting those things just at least in one place. So yeah, I'm like, I gotta make sure I get this kind of up to date, because, and then I do need to launch these classes here. I need to get this stuff up to date, because actually we were gonna do the JavaScript one. I need to offer one of these classes. I want to do the Git crash course, and I want to do the JavaScript crash course, because I want to do that API course. Yep, I'm about to schedule these. Let's see. It's really weird that I don't teach that I'm not teaching right now, because well, I did just finish a class, and that is one of my own classes. The MVP class we do through Detroit Black Tech. So that is a program that I built from scratch, as far as the curriculum and everything. And I kind of got that in a nice spot, and I want to start branching off from there. But more so like the web dev programming and stuff like that, I was teaching for different organizations more recently, and like there's just not been a lot of opportunities, or their schedules have not been very active, and I'm like, it's no reason why I shouldn't be teaching. So I think I need to set dates for these classes, and yeah, I need to I'm gonna put registrations up for these classes. because it's I don't I mean I have that's I really should be teaching honestly. um Sending good energy. Thank you, preacher. Same to you. It's a lot of good things that are going on, but I'm like, let's be intentional. I'm not 25 no more. Like, I've been around the block a couple times, so I know what I need to do with my socials. I know what I need to do, like, social media wise, and um yeah. I need to, so this needs to be like a regular thing. I feel like it might have been last night that I was just like, oh, my stream tomorrow needs to be me working on my freaking blog, because and get my socials together. Okay, so I said what I wanted to do for here, but really quickly, um I have some inspiration I want to say for the social profiles, because I think I'm not like, I haven't been taking advantage of like the entire like profile layouts as much as I could have, and as much as I've been intending to. So for example, like, let me see, what was his profile? Oh yeah, lab every day. So he, see how he has his links and stuff, like he has all his stuff in his readme. This is something I've been meaning to do for a while. I just I have redone my readme multiple times for the sake of like different demonstrations, and I think I did a workshop to show how to set everything up. But I personally need to come in to mine and get a little bit more particular. Like, I like how he just has like his blogs and his YouTube here. But you know, I like, I mean, I think mine's is good, but it really is just like the first the first iteration. I at least wanted to put like a banner in here, because this also kind of, this basically is the way you can brand your GitHub profile at this point. It's not really much else. I mean, everything else, everybody pretty much has the same. And then of course, you know, people can see your activity, which my activity is down, but that's because a lot of my work is on branches. So it's not like I haven't been working on stuff, but yeah, we already talked about working on projects and scheduling in projects. So on this one, I just want to, I'm probably going to get rid of this banner for now, unless I find other hollow pins that I want to showcase. And then I'm going to get a banner over here. Just be a little bit more, I want to see if I can just kind of switch up the styling a little bit, so it's not just a bunch of text. This one shouldn't be like a major, and then rearrange my pins based on the projects that I want to highlight and the ones I'm going to be working on. Let's see. Okay, so now Instagram. Speaking of Opus, I think I got credits on there. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad I brought that up. Oh shoot, I'm not signed in. I think I'm signed in on another tab. All right, my Instagram profile. I'm not as worried about like the posts and stuff, except that I'm trying to just just post more. I want to post every day. I really should post once a day. And I have a bunch of stuff. I'll start a post and then I'll just be like, oh, and then I need this link to this thing, and then I go off and never finish some of them. But I'll probably just make sure that I want this bio and everything. I'm not going to change my picture for now. I am going to change these pins out because I think like mostly I put stories. Mostly my story stuff is like, you know, different events and things like that. And then in the past there was also like a schedule. This was for stream. But yeah, I need to clean this up and make it a little bit more specific. Like I want to have one for book recommendations. I want to have a section for coaching, coaching and one-on-ones, different courses that I'm teaching. I'll put it in Notion. Hold on. Oh, it's just under this one. Yeah. Okay, but oh, not Reds, Rex. Okay, so book recommendations, maybe, probably, because I'm trying to help people who do want to maybe do things similar to how I do, which is like one of my big platforms is live streaming. So I've been wanting to make more content that's helpful for people that want to do that. Coaching courses, then this would be like actual content, I think, but this would be gear. Yeah. So this is for Instagram. For LinkedIn, I don't know what the sections will be for LinkedIn. I need to do sections for LinkedIn though. And that is my plan for today. LinkedIn, I do have some stuff featured, but let me see. Am I signed in on this profile? I get a lot of connections and like opportunities through LinkedIn. I've been trying to post more on there, even though I don't post that much on LinkedIn, which is like very much I'm like underutilizing this. I really should be leaning into LinkedIn more. So I have been putting when we go live on LinkedIn, and those are mostly what's featured here right now. But I could be a little bit more intentional because I seen like, let me see, who was it that I wanted to? I saw somebody else's profile and I was like, oh, that's so smart. I'm about to find it. Hold on. I know I just posted. Okay, I guess just look at this one. I reposted some other stuff and it's not showing. Earlier today. That's weird. Okay, well, anyways. Glad to know that. Because I know I can probably find his profile through here. I'm being lazy. I know we had to have tag team. Oh. Oh, that's a podcast. I'm scrolling so far back now. This is dumb. I can't go back further than that. Okay. I don't even. Let's see. Right, that was her post. Why isn't his post up? See, LinkedIn is a little bit inconsistent because now I'm realizing I feel like it's stuff I should see that I don't see here. But this should be the active feed. Maybe Mac posted it and didn't. No, but the repost should be here too, right? Okay. LinkedIn has been a little bit shifty in some regards. All right, well, I think that's it. Okay. So like this, I think I liked how his stuff was laid out up here. It's like consistent and clean. Probably because these are LinkedIn articles. So I want to clean up my featured section. It's okay, but like I said, right now my featured section, it really just shows like some previous podcast episode or something like that, which is good. But really, when someone comes here, like I want this to be a little bit more direct, because usually people come to LinkedIn to see like they're either looking at my profile to see if like I fit a role, or to reach out to me about a particular role, or they may have like seen me speak at an event or something like that, and then they'll come and follow me, see what kind of content do I have, things like that. So LinkedIn is very, very important for me, and I need to go in and clean up my messages too, because I do get a lot of spam stuff. Okay. I want to look at the integrations on the website, because I'm not sure what Okay, I'm bringing this over. I'm not sure what I could use for the program calendar unless I just embed like a Google Calendar. And then, is there anything else? Okay, so I'm probably just gonna need to embed. Let me see. If I close this and then my freaking close. That really would be a page. I wonder what a calendar looks like. I want to see. Hold on. All right, here's the iframe. What will I be customizing? Oh, look at this. We can customize. Let me see something. See everything, but this calendar is Are people really printing stuff? Print tabs. Why would I want to change the uh, you gotta change it from the why would I want to why would I want the background color? Because it's not like they're gonna change the rest of the calendar. Okay, and then only show. Yeah, I guess you could do this one and this one. And then I should just keep this one up to date. Content calendar. What this happened? All right. My GitHub is bare AF. Look. I really love Bite Bite Go. They're doing good with all of their material. Let me see. Bite Bite Go. Okay. I like how he has this structure. Hmm. Okay, now where is there? Oh, here it is. The newsletter. I thought they had. Oh yeah. Okay. I want to say he made a video about. Did he make a video about those diagrams? Somebody did. Amigos Code did, I think. Oh, yeah, this one right here. My freaking mouse is done. I don't know what's wrong with it. I gotta find the other one. Oh, wait. Okay. I found it. I started. See, I'm so programmed in using the freaking mouse. I automatically start trying to use it as soon as I set it down. It might not have any battery life. Let's see. I'm familiar with Mermaid. I'm more so looking for that wasn't the actual that wasn't the actual content I was looking for from him. I was looking for how he makes the actual diagrams that he had in his video, because he makes like animated diagrams, and that's not coming from those softwares. Amigos Code made a video. It was specifically like I think Canva. You can do some stuff in Canva, and then wait, did it work? Your mouse is wirelessly connected. Yeah. So where is it? What is happening? Right. Okay. What's the battery life like? Are you just dead or what? It's probably dead. Alright, let me let this charge. Oh boy. Okay, we can wait. Not off of here though. I need my monitor back. Okay. Whew. Oh, I forgot to light my candle. Excuse me. I want to take a nap. It's weird not having the mouse right there. This is it right here. This is what I was watching when I decided to go make the the like 4Cs for getting in the software. You can do, but he was showing, it's like, cause I use Canva all the time, but it's so many new features that I really don't take advantage of. I remember he was able to like give it a path to follow.
incredible blessing.
A lot of the sci-fi stuff is actually now becoming possible. What happens when you have a model that's able of simulating real-world physics?
Wouldn't it be cool if this podcast were actually an Infinity AI video?
One thing I noticed is like the lip syncing is like extremely accurate. Like it really looks like he's actually speaking Hindi.
How do YC companies build foundation models during the batch with just 500,000?
This is literally built by 21-year-old new college grads, and they built this thing in 2 months. I think he like locked himself in his apartment for a month and just read AI papers.
You can actually be on the cutting edge in relatively short order, and that's an incredible blessing. Welcome back to another episode of The Light Cone. Today we're talking about generative AI. First there was GPT-4, then there was Midjourney for image generation, and now we're making the leap into video. Harj, we got access to Sora, and we're about to take a look at some clips that they generated just for us.
Yeah, should we take a look? Okay, so here's the first one. The prompt is, it's the year 2050, a humanoid robot acting as a household helper walks someone's golden retriever down a pretty tree-lined suburban street. What do we think?
I like how it actually spells out helper. It's like a flex.
Yeah.
Like, I can spell now.
Yeah, which was not true with the image models.
You'd always screw up the text in
Yeah,
the image. Yeah, that's
Stable
true.
Diffusion DALL-E were notoriously bad at spelling text, so that is a major advance that no one's really talked about yet.
I mean, it's wild how high definition it is. Like, that's almost realistic.
And the other really cool thing is the physics. The way the robot walks, for the most part, is
Yeah.
very accurate. You do notice a little kind of like shuffle that's a little bit off, but for the most part is believable.
And the way the golden retriever moves, I
Yeah, I
have
mean,
a
look at
golden
the
retriever,
tail.
so I can personally vouch that like they perfectly modeled the like.
Yeah, you have one, right?
Yeah.
So you would know.
Like your dog, right?
Yeah, it's perfect. It's a perfect representation of how a golden retriever walks. I also like that with DALL-E and Stable Diffusion, as you made your prompts longer and longer, it would just start ignoring it and not actually doing exactly what you told it to do. And like we gave it a very specific prompt here, and it did exactly the thing that we told it to.
You can see it's still not exactly perfect. So I think towards the end you see is like a floating dog, something in that.
Okay. I was gonna call out a couple other
There you
imperfections
go.
here, which is that like the street is not a street, guys. Like
It's a
Yes.
carless
it's
society.
yeah, and like what's up with that? It's like a weird. It's like not quite a sidewalk, not quite a street. Yeah.
And
But
I
in
think
the
if you
future, we
notice,
won't need cars anymore.
And then like
there's that
only one
the
side of the
structure's like
street.
jumping. There's this
Oh, yeah.
floating object thing.
There's a floating object on
Yeah.
the right if you watch carefully.
Which looks like a little
On
dog
the
or something.
right.
I'm not sure.
This is still a real breakthrough. If you look
incredible.
at some of the stuff that Meta put out, I mean, I always think about, what is it, Will Smith trying to eat a plate of spaghetti.
That was so
Yeah.
And that looks
disturbing.
insane. And it's sort of just what you would do if you fed the previous frame into the same model to try to generate the next frame, and it just wasn't durable.
And that wasn't too long ago.
Yeah.
The other thing that I find really impressive about the Sora videos is that they have long-term visual consistency. So it's like a minute long, and like all the houses are similar architectural style. There's no like discontinuity. All the trees look similar. It's clearly all takes place in the same world.
Next one's a drone camera circles around the Golden Gate Bridge. The view showcases the magnificent cliffs and ocean waves with views of San Francisco in the background. The view is stunning, captured with beautiful photography.
That is the Golden Gate.
That is
Yeah,
the Golden
I mean,
Gate Bridge.
that's
Like it
definitely
knows what the Golden Gate Bridge looks like.
And I think you can see Alcatraz there a little bit too.
Yeah, I'm just like the high definition is amazing.
And you can see the city in the background as we asked for.
It's definitely not geographically accurate, but
Yeah, like the terrain is not quite actually the way it is in the real world, but it looks visually kind of similar.
yeah.
And yeah, you can see it's not quite perfect because early on in the clip, if you look at sort of one of the columns of the bridge from a particular angle, it looks disjointed. Like, can you see that one?
Oh
There
yeah,
at the back.
yeah.
And then it sort of lines up when we get to this angle.
Also, if you go back to the beginning of the clip and you look at the cars driving on the bridge, they're driving on the wrong side of the road. Like,
yeah.
like that one's about to cause a traffic accident.
Maybe there's some data from the UK maybe.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
I guess the other detail is in computer graphics, it's incredibly difficult to simulate fluid, and still a little bit wonky with it, with the waves. They're a little bit static.
Yeah,
but-
I've seen other Sora clips where it captures the motion of water just incredibly.
One thing I'm really curious about is just how Sora works under the hood and just how they generate these videos. So, Danny, could you give us a brief, like a primer on just like what's actually going on? And one thing I was particularly curious about is like, is this like a new model, like or is this like an extension of the transformer model that we all know about as powering ChatGPT?
I think the TLDR and the really cool thing here, it is really a combination of a transformer model, which typically has been mostly used for text, and a diffusion model, which has been used which is a lot of the tech behind DALL-E Midjourney to generate images. So it's combining these two and then adding a temporal component so you can see the consistency between frames and the time. And I think the key thing that OpenAI did was to train this with videos and with what they call space-time patches. So it is like this, basically this 3x3 matrix of pixels. So you have the spatial, and then patches of temporal, which is like multiple frames create a video. And the way they do it, they have a variation of the sizes of these patches. It could be certain size, smaller to bigger in XYZ basically, right? And then they basically train all this in this giant architecture, which probably is really expensive.
And so are these sort of space-time patches the video equivalent of tokens?
Sort of, because I think there's a lot of prior work behind Sora, because the first thing is transformers have been mostly applied to text, and one of the prior work arts was Google's work on demonstrating that you could do transformer models not just for English text, but for images. So that was a foundational paper that came back in, I think they published it in 2020, and the paper was called Images Worth 16 by 16. So they call it a visual transformer. So they demonstrated that you could create and use transformer models for image recognition tasks, because the state of the art up to then was convolutional neural networks, which was very expensive to compute. So that was one piece of the puzzle. The other piece of the puzzle was kind of the space-time concept. And I think some of that comes from stitching some different work on the past. There's this other paper, World Model, that came out in 2018 that separated, it's for robotics actually, that separates the detection piece. So that's kind of the perception of the visual part. And then the other piece is the memory model for the temporal aspect. And the temporal aspect in the World Model paper uses RNNs. And then there's a controller model that combines it. So they don't explain too much OpenAI. This is just a bit of just me looking at it. I don't know. This is one of these things that OpenAI is a bit cagey about it. But we can only speculate it's a combination of like robotics papers plus transformer plus text.
And then how much more expensive is it to generate one of these videos compared to generating the text? Like, how do we even think about that?
Oh man, so imagine the GPT-4 is like a trillion parameters, and that imagine is only 2 dimensions, right?
Yeah.
Text, it's just a matrix of 2 by 2. Now this is like an order of magnitude, so I can imagine it's like at least 1 order of magnitude, 10 trillion?
Okay, that's amazing.
So probably 10 times the amount of GPUs. I could only imagine. I think it was about 30,000, I forget exactly the number of GPUs it took for GPT-4.
Okay, well what's crazy is that we have companies within YC that have also been able to achieve similar types of functionality, and they clearly have way less resources than OpenAI does. So I'm curious how they manage to do that. And the way I kind of think about this is that there's the components of building one of these like foundational models, like data, compute, and expertise. Should we talk through some of the YC companies and how they've managed to like hack
And
each or all of those things?
Basically, how do YC companies build foundation models during the batch with just 500,000?
Yeah, I think it's an important topic because I think because people know how much money OpenAI is spending on GPUs, there's this meme going around that in order to do this, you need to like have raised like billions of dollars and have like a data center full of GPUs. And we've actually seen that it's not true. There's actually a bunch of companies in the current batch Winter 24 right now that just in the time of the batch, with just the 500K that YC gives them, have actually built really awesome foundational models that are producing like magical results.
Should we look at some of these demos and
Yeah.
see talk about how they managed to get this to work?
Yeah.
Let's start with Infinity AI.
Infinity AI is a company in the current batch, and what they do is they make deep fake videos of a particular person. So for example, they have an AI replica of Elon Musk, and you can just tell Infinity AI what you want Elon Musk to say, and they will produce a video of Elon Musk saying exactly that thing.
You want to watch a demo?
Yeah, let's see a
Yeah.
demo.
Let's watch the demo.
Speaking of IC companies training their own models, did you guys see the Infinity AI demo last week?
Yeah, they're a company in my group. Infinity allows people to make videos by just typing out a script.
Wouldn't it be cool if this podcast were actually an Infinity AI video?
That'd be super cool. You think they'd be up for that?
Well, guys, I have a surprise for you.
That was weird.
That's pretty good.
So special thanks to the Infinity AI team who made a model of the Lightcone podcast. And the way that they did this is they literally just downloaded our YouTube videos from the first 3 episodes and they trained their model on that. And the cool thing about these models now is like you don't need that much data once you've trained the foundation model to adapt it to learn a new person. So just the like hour or so of YouTube video that we had was enough for them to get a really accurate representation.
I could talk about another company. So I'll explain what SyncLab is. SyncLab is an API for creating real-time lip syncing. And the crazy thing about this team is that they trained the models on a single A100. And it's generating these kinds of results. So let's take a look at it.
वाणिज्यिक समझौते या लेन देन के कला पर है, चाहे आपको पसंद हो या ना हो। आप एक विक्रेता हैं। आप अन्य लोगों को अपने विचारों, आपकी सेवाओं, आपके उत्पाद, आपके करियर पथ, आप में किसी प्रकार का निवेश करने के लिए मनाने जा रहे होंगे।
I'm guessing this guy doesn't actually speak Hindi?
No.
No.
Okay. Well, one thing I noticed is like the lip syncing is like extremely accurate. Like it really looks like he's actually speaking Hindi.
Yeah, and if we put it in this framework that you were mentioning, Harsh, with how YC companies do this, there's different vectors. It's computation, data set, and speed. So they kind of hacked all of those. So for the data set, the clever thing they've done is unheard of training a video audio model with so little resources, is they compress a lot of the data and use low-res video. So you don't need the high-res video, because if you have a high-res of 1080p versus, let's say, the 241 version, that's like a quadratic factor less, because it's 2 dimensions, right? So they've done that. The other thing that enabled them to really move a lot faster is the deal that we did with Azure, where we have a dedicated GPU cluster for companies in the batch. They've been able to iterate 100 times faster than they were before in the batch.
So a lot of companies out there, they decide they need to do fine-tuning, they need access to GPUs, and they just can't get it, or you've got to pay an arm and a leg and prepay for a year in advance, and maybe you'll get it in 2025. But if you're in the YC batch, turns out you can get them.
Yeah, you get over $500,000 in credits, and there's no contention for resources. You actually get instant access within 24 hours for a GPU cluster.
But it's pretty cool because YC invests $500,000, but I think all the companies in the YC batch to train these models, I think they literally didn't have to touch the YC money to train the models. Like that was all extra free money, like unrelated to the YC investment. Should we talk about Sonato? So Sonato is another company in the Winter 24 batch, and they have built a text-to-song model. So you can give their model lyrics to a song and tell it who you want to perform the song. Like you can tell it, I want Taylor Swift to sing a birthday song for my dog, and it will make exactly that song. There's only like 2 or 3 models in the world that have ever been trained that actually do this, and I think Sonato is actually the best one.
Oh, wow.
And the really cool thing is that the founders of Sonato are literally like 21 years old. So, Harj, to your point about expertise, this was not built by like PhD machine learning researchers who have been working in machine learning for like 10 years or something. This is literally built by 21-year-old new college grads.
Yeah.
And they built this thing in 2 months, and they did it basically, they just taught themselves.
That's
They just like went online and they like figured out how to do it.
That is very impressive. Should we take a look at it?
Yeah, so this is a song that they made for the YC batch, and it's like a power march about Y Combinator.
torch of ideas so fine. In the heart of the valley, where futures are made, we the founders of YC will never fade.
Oh God, he didn't have to do that.
Is this how we're going to open the batch?
Yeah.
From now
That's a good
on?
idea. We need big orange banners behind us, and we have to wear military garb. Though.
With orange armory.
Gary, we could do our own song for demo day.
Oh my God.
AI generated.
I
this
think
time.
we have to now.
We have to.
This
What-
is very impressive.
One thing I really like about this is like you can actually understand the lyrics. Like it really does do the lyrics, but it really does sound like someone is singing it. This is the first time I've heard AI vocals like that.
Yeah.
And to your point with Jared, there's another company that also didn't have the expertise of PhD in machine learning. It is called Metalware. They're building a copilot for hardware. And these were founders who used to work as hardware engineers at SpaceX, and they had to build all these hardware designs. So they're very familiar with building hardware. And when they came into the batch, they decided to build basically a copilot for hardware design. And they didn't have much AI background, and they figured it out. And one of the cool things about them is they also trained a foundation model for this, because there's no model available for this. And they were able to do it during the batch. And in that same framework of the things that they hack with data and computation, in terms of the data, they got away with using less data but more high quality. What they did is they took a bunch of figures and information from textbooks on hardware, and they scanned all of that and used that as input, which is clever, right? The other thing, because they didn't need as much data, then they could choose to work with a model that's less computationally intensive. So they actually use GPT 2.5, which seems counterintuitive because the 2.5 GPT only has like 1 billion plus parameters. I think it's 1 billion, right? Yeah. Versus GPT-4 is like trillion.
Yeah.
And they were able to get away to use less computational resources because they use a smaller model and better data. And then they could do all these hardware design copilot tasks, which is really cool. So when you kind of constrain a lot of your task and you're very specific and the data set is very high quality, that's another way you could hack and build a foundation model during the batch. And therefore all different kinds of applications, not just generating video text. There's one that I'm really excited in the current batch called GuiLab. They're building a explainable foundation model, because one of the things with all these foundation models and deep learning is kind of this black box magic. Nobody knows what's going on. That you put in the data, it kind of predicts the label, and you have no idea how that happened. Like prior to deep learnings, you could, because you could have the weights and understand which feature indicated and gave the weight for the label. So this team is building a foundation model that can explain the outputs. And they trained a model during the batch.
Nice. As a founder, like, when is it the right call to invest in building your own model versus just using one of the existing open source models and fine-tuning and tweaking it to fit what you need?
Well, I guess it depends, right? Depends on what you're really looking to build. If you're in a very specific and it can be niche space, you can get away with training your own foundation model like the Metalware guys. But if you're, let's say, doing something more with language, GPT-4 gets you quite further along. So it depends on the task too, right?
So if we're thinking about it as like the data compute expertise, like we're basically saying expertise is maybe overrated. Like we've like proving that if you're just like smart and like willing to read the papers, you can figure it out. Compute, there are ways, like being in YC is one way to get around that. Like you can get credits and you can take some of that cost off. And so then is it like the data piece is sort of where all the edge is? Like if you can find high quality, like high quality but not like giant data sets, that's the hack?
Oh, yes. Let's talk about Find. So Find is this company that's building a copilot for software. The answers that they're generating are even better than Stack Overflow.
Interesting.
And these were also kids out of college with not a lot of like AI background. And they've done a very clever hack to build their own model for the data. They created a bunch of synthetic data for programming competitions. So they would have a bunch of those data sets generated, and that got like a lot higher quality. Imagine that. It's like basically infinite if it's synthetic.
It's interesting because I feel like synthetic data has been looked down on.
It was controversial
Yeah.
initially. Yeah.
Why was it originally controversial, and why does it actually seem to be working?
It seemed like circular. It seemed like it would be impossible for a model to generate its own data. And how can you learn from the data that you generated yourself?
Yeah.
It wasn't obvious that such a thing could be possible. It seemed to like violate some like conservation of energy.
I remember
kind
it
of
was
law.
like the meme that was going around on Twitter was like the mosquito drinking its own, blood, and like
yes.
this is how synthetic data works.
Yeah. But then it turns out it actually works.
Interesting.
I think maybe this is related to the idea that, some of these, LLMs are actually capable of reasoning. And once you can reason, maybe that's the part that sort of spins up the flywheel
How do I
and
do
makes
a
it possible.
secondary?
And, there are other interesting analogs that I think there's a healthy debate out there whether or not this will come together. But
Wait, let me
you
see
could
how
look at
this looks.
self-driving car models are often trained on massive amounts of simulation data instead of actually real drive time, sometimes by a factor of 10 to 1 or more. And that might end up being true for some of the generative AI models too.
Is it possible Sora will do that as well? Like Sora generate its own video to continue training and improving its own model?
Probably. I know OpenAI doesn't share much about their data sources because that's part of the secret sauce. But 100% they're using video footage
Right?
that's
So they
generated
have-
from Unreal Engine probably, or Unity, one of these game engines, because they have a full physics simulator. So you could create multiple scenes of the same, let's say if you have the example of the car driving on the cliff, they could generate it from all multiple camera angles, because what that game engine does, you can position the camera anywhere and you could basically generate all the footage on all possible camera views.
The physics part of this is really interesting. I feel most people, when they are seeing these Sora demos or just generally get this concept, your mind goes to, oh, this will be cool for generating films or video games, that like entertainment. But if what you're saying is it can actually like simulate the real world, there's probably going to be lots of like further reaching implications for that. Like what are some of what happens when you have a model that's able of like simulating real world physics, and where does that apply?
Well, I have a good example. This company Atmo, which we funded in 2020, they built their own foundational model for weather prediction. The way they did it is they trained a model on I think 90 terabytes of weather data. They've programmed in a physics model of the world by starting with actual equations of physics.
A giant polynomial.
Yeah, it's effectively a giant polynomial, and it's so expensive to run. It has to run on a cluster of supercomputers, and it's so expensive to run. There's actually the only place in the world that actually runs this model is NOAA, the U.S. government agency. They're the only ones with the supercomputer cluster that runs the physics model. And so every weather app that you go to, every weather channel, they're actually not predicting their own weather. They're just downloading the government prediction data and wrapping a nice UI around it. There's only one actual physics simulation for weather in America. And so no commercial company has been able to create their own version because it's too expensive to do it the old school physics based way. And so what's really cool about Atmo is instead of using the old school physics way, they've trained a foundational model, and using machine learning, it's 1,000,000 times more efficient to run the same calculation or something like that. And because of that, this startup, which is only raised to seed round, is actually able to make a weather prediction model that is more accurate than the NOAA funded one that cost over $1 billion.
Interesting. What's really surprising about the text to video is just how far reaching the implications are. So you can go way beyond just generating video games. We can do weather. What are other examples of cool things that we could do if we can generate have a physics simulator of the real world?
Well, there's a bunch of companies that are applying it to biology. Diana, do you want to talk about a couple of those?
Yeah, so it turns out all these foundation models are great function approximators for anything. So
Any
not
function. They're general purpose learning algorithms.
And the human body can be simulated with functions too. So one of the companies that we funded as well is called Diffuse Bio. They're building generative AI for proteins. So what they're doing is building these big models to be able to create new molecules for new types of drugs and new kinds of gene therapies. And in order to hack this aspect of how do they make progress with not as much resources, they had a lot of expertise. This is different than the set of founders we talked about that don't come from the background in AI. Namrata, the founder, she published some very legit papers in Nature before this. So she had a lot of expertise in terms of how to short circuit the computation loop. What she did is build custom kernels on the models so that the whole process of building the foundation model is a lot faster with less resources. So that's one. The other company in the current batch is
Pyramidal. Do you want to talk about them?
they're building a foundation model for the human brain, which turns out they're predicting EEG signal, which could be used for all sorts of applications, from predicting stroke to reading. At some point, your brain could be read, perhaps. And what EEG signals are, they're also temporal. So sort of like Sora. Sora has like the images plus images over a timestamp. So that's video. So EEG is the same thing. It's just an electrical impulse, but over a time period. So they kind of do something similar with chunking, space-time chunk, but for EEG. So they're able to train this model. And the way they were able to train and iterate during the batch, they were experts in this space. So they also did a lot of hacks around the computation, where they found a way to divide a lot of the sequential data into chunks, sort of like what Sora has done. And that actually reduced the runtime complexity by quadratic, which is like impressive. And they could get a single run of an iteration of an initial model with just 800 hours of compute, GPU compute, which is really cool.
One thing that's really cool about that is, like, if people sat down and tried to think of different applications for foundational models, EEG data would not be the one that would like immediately come to mind. And to me, that suggests that there's probably a lot of other application areas like EEG data that just people haven't thought of yet.
Yeah, it's like, who would have thought that EEG is sort of like videos? It's just this whole concept with space-time. You can space-time lots of things.
It's also possible that applications of AI that people thought would exist will now exist, like robotics, I think, is a good one.
That's a huge one.
You remember, I think we talked about this in a previous episode, about how when Sam was starting OpenAI, he talked about they originally thought that, AI in robots and AI in the real world would be like the first application.
And I remember I went over to the OpenAI office in like the first year or two, and they had all these robots trying to like learn how to solve the Rubik's Cube by like reinforcement learning.
Yep.
Which is also kind of an interesting side note, because like OpenAI is so wildly successful right now that it's easy to think that they knew that like they had this like straight line path to get there, but it was definitely not that. It was like a meandering path. They pursued a bunch of dead end ideas like the reinforcement learning robots that didn't work.
Well, even the researcher working on transformer architecture at OpenAI was like off in a corner, I think, at the start. Like, it wasn't clear even within OpenAI that was going to be the right thread to pull on, right? But so like the Sora and just like text to video is especially interesting, because again, if we have a real physics simulator for the world, like that potentially getting plugged into robots is like a breakthrough to make the sort of the AI robot a reality. And we actually have a company in the current YC batch, K-Scale Labs, that's working on consumer humanoid robots. And yeah,
that's
so like
cool.
Yeah, and they have a pretty cool demo. It's very early, but like a lot of the sci-fi stuff is actually now becoming possible.
The cool thing about Ben, who's the founder for K-Scale, he was the guy that built the foundation robotics model for Tesla.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He put it into the Optimus Prime robot as well.
Oh, awesome.
The thing about the real world is governed by the laws of physics, and it turns out we have a bunch of equations that can describe it for different things, like weather. There's also the space, for example, there's this company that we funded called Draft8 that is building AI models for CAD design. So CAD follows a lot of the laws of physics with Newton, right? With force, shear, etc. And a lot of the software behind SolidWorks and AutoCAD run on these really old kernels that basically, again, solve these giant polynomials of lots of equations, so that when you do a design of a structure and you want to calculate the force and the tolerances, is accurate, because you don't want a building to just flop, right? So what they do, and it's very expensive. I mean, whenever you build all these models in CAD, and these kernels are super old, and they kind of at the end of the day, they run on these equations that compile, like, I don't know, to some wild thing like Fortran, because they haven't not been updated. What Draft 8 is doing, they are short-circuiting some of these with AI models that can do some of the predictions. So there's a lot faster and cheaper in terms of computation. So there's a lot of computational geometry computation behind the scenes.
It's really cool. That's a perfect example of just like a valuable problem to solve that the general purpose models just aren't going to get around to specializing it.
Hi, that's a great point. And there's a lot of startups that are very worried that if they like go into AI, they're going to get run over by OpenAI or other foundational model companies. And so one solution to that is like train your own model that's doing something else.
Yeah, great point.
There's actually a YC company called Playground run by our friend Suhail Doshi that is a good example of actually you probably can go up against people who are really well funded and come up with something that is far better. What we're looking at here is the newest version of Playground 2.5, and they're hot on the heels of Midjourney, but at the same time, like the models that they've actually even released open source go toe to toe against the latest versions of Stable Diffusion, and in a lot of cases way outperform that, and they've done it on far less money than Stability AI and other teams in the space. So I think Suhail and Playground are really one to watch to sort of go toe to toe with Midjourney, and in the long run potentially beat it, because I would never bet against Suhail Doshi. That guy is a beast.
The image quality is super impressive.
That looks so cool, and maybe some of the audience would have thought that Suhail comes from an AI background, but he doesn't.
Yeah, he started Mixpanel before when he was 19.
And Playground is also an interesting example of something that Harj was talking about last night, which is the phenomenon of companies pivoting into AI. Because Playground actually did not start with this idea. When it started, it was a completely different idea.
Yeah.
And a couple of years in, Suhail, after raising a bunch of money, Suhail hard pivoted the thing into AI, and he literally just taught himself AI. I think he like locked himself in his apartment for a month and just read AI papers, and then he built Playground.
So don't be afraid. I mean, I think that that's one of the most interesting things that we've seen across many of these different examples, that if you're looking for a reason why you can't succeed, guess what? You're right. But on the other hand, the field itself is so new, so brand new, that if you spend 6 or 9 months literally reading every paper and then meeting all the people who are in the space, and they'll meet you, you can actually be on the cutting edge in relatively short order. And that's an incredible blessing.
Totally.
It's a really important message, actually, right? Because we're all grateful to Sam and OpenAI for like bringing this field forward and making all of this stuff possible. But at the same time, all of the news headlines tend to be around the companies that are raising like huge amounts of money, or about, like Sam, like himself as a sort of world celebrity at this point. But you can actually like compete with OpenAI for very valuable like verticals and use cases by training your own model without having to be Sam Altman or having $100 million.
So we're out of time for today, but we could talk for hours about the crazy things that we're seeing in AI being built by people who are probably not that different than you who's watching right now. A lot of the world right now is looking at people like Sam Altman and Dario Amodei and some of the luminary figures who have really pushed forward the whole space. But remember, all of these people started someplace, and we hope that Y Combinator might actually be the place for you to start, just like it was for Sam Altman back in the day. That's it. Catch you next time.
Oh, are all the images AI generated? Or are they gonna combine them? Create graphics like a pro. I want to try this out. Very interesting. That's really cool. At least her parts look semi-realistic. I just noticed whatever is going on with her edges, but this is pretty. This is very pretty. How do I post this? That's cool. Oh, that's creepy. It said biomechanical mutated albino iron ants mutated chameleon. This is a lot that they was trying to go for in here. And this is terrifying. That came out pretty good. I'm not sure why they tried to pair hyper detail to a chibi, because chibi style is a different graphic style, but this is a cute little animal. It's not a chibi because of the style that they picked. What is this? Tekken Link. He looks a little more, I don't know, I feel like he looks a little more Street Fighter than Tekken, honestly, but that's cool either way. Okay, what's this one? Honestly, I thought this was gonna say something about mixing Luffy with DBZ, because he look a little DBZ here. That looks scary. Oh, okay. The way the eyes was presenting from that thumbnail was freaking me out, but I see what they're going for. This is so scary. Oh man. That's just freaky. Why you standing like that? Oh God. Okay. Old video game. What? No, it don't look like an old video game. I think I'm back at the top, yeah. That's just creepy. This bear is plotting. Do they already have one of these? What did it say? It didn't copy that. It did good though. This is a lot. This is a lot more advanced than what we've been seeing even like in the past year. That's crazy. It's supposed to be. It's they all look the same. They not supposed to be the same person. It says Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, and Russell Tovey. But it just kind of the signer. Look, I didn't do this. Somebody else did this. I didn't do this. I'm just observing the advancement in AI image generation. I just thought this was funny because they all really look the same. It's almost like it did try to. It's like it tried to use the three different people, but then merged their look. It merged their faces almost. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know if that's exactly the moment that you came in on, but I only looked at it because it was I'm like, I can tell they're trying to do something with celebrities, but they all look like they got the same face. Are they supposed to have the same face? And that is not what's written in the prompts. These are really cool though. Did you see Tekken Link? Or is Tekken Link? Where's Tekken Link? I'm doing good though. I hope you're doing well. It's already getting off to a busy month. Where is it? Here it is. This is Tekken Link. I think he looks more like Street Fighter though. What's Superman doing? That's really nice. I guess I should be working. This is research. Oh. This is really good, especially based on the prompts. I mean, her knee's a little wiggly, but that one was good. Just getting back from grocery shopping. Yeah, it's raining here too. I haven't even like opened up the windows or the door because it's just all these Luffy ones are giving Dragon Ball GT. Is it GT? I think it's just the coloring too though. Her eyes are scary. It just says a shocked reaction. So I'm not sure why her eyeballs had to be made like that. This dog is not smiling. This dog has a master plan. He's an evil genius. I don't like those eyebrows. Okay, what is this? Her eye. They says with huge, massive biceps and very huge, ripped, muscular body on steroids. They gotta work on them eyes. Who is generating all these? Why? He's like 13 years old. What is this? What? A logo? That's so scary. A logo with the words Inkspire, surrounded by tattoos, and a hand doing tattoo art. That's not. That's not this. Yeah, it's AI research. Yeah. No, seriously though, it's hard to keep up with. I'm not sure exactly what they're going for with that. I mean, I kind of get it, but this one is also Jesus and his disciples. That's pretty cool. Why? Somebody keeps trying to make pictures with Logan Paul and red eyes. Thanks for the alert, Miss Steiner. Good luck with that. Good luck, good luck, good luck. I have a phone screen on Thursday. This is similar to the other one. Wait, so how is it able? Are these just different iterations of the same prompt? Oh no. It looks like he looks like the Dark Knight Joker. What is this? See, the animals all look angry. A cow licking a black forest cake in front of a colorful meadow. This cow looks so angry. What was that? Oh, my camera's gonna die. Interesting. Okay, I guess that's what we're supposed to get from those panels. It's really good. Oh, did they want her to have shorts on? Or pedal pushers? What they call these? Capris? Pedal pushers? Why didn't it give her the rest of her pants? is this? Keep it pushing, keep it moving. That look disturbing. What is that? What is wrong with people? I'm surprised that this model is able to... Oh God, it's even scarier than the first one. And another angry cow. I'm surprised this model is allowed to generate likenesses. They're gonna have, I can definitely see them having to remove that or block that in some way. What is this? I'm so scared. A pig. This said a pig in a green shirt, afraid of being eaten by an orca. And instead we got a pig orca, maybe. Look at her legs. They got Jesus coming out of the ground. He in the field with. Why is he just sitting there with wine? Okay, I mean, they did ask for that. Did it die? I know it didn't die. Maybe it did. Dang it. I need to toss that one. All right, let me look at the demos again. Oh, Rising, Pure Prompts. Animals. What is happening? All right, I'm gonna try this one out for sure. Oh boy. I should leave it open. Then I need to it's all signed in already. This is the right one, isn't it? 5 hours of credits. Mhm. I'm gonna go ahead and I guess I'll go ahead and end the connection. I need to eat anyways. I'll probably come back for our Replit Developer Day. That live stream is at 5 my time, I think. And I'm gonna get something to eat and stuff like that. So I will see y'all either, if not later, I'll see y'all tomorrow.